Cause they say that he the king like Imperial. Need it. Watch your game, make your play for the weekend. Then come listen and hear what Tay thinking. Him and Mike got the mic, let him speak then. Let's be real. Yeah. Let's be real. Yeah. I am not worried about what you've been talking about.
Alright, y'all, what's going on? We're here with the Let's Be Real podcast. I'm your co-host, Michael Parham.
And I'm your co-host, Dante Hall.
Today we have special guests, Penny Collins, Josh Bona in the building representing TSU basketball, Go Big Blue. Today we're gonna go over a variation of things. We'll go into some of their playing career, some plans for TSU. I mean, all of the above. We're gonna go ahead and get started off though. Can you guys both break down and talk to the people a little bit about your personal playing career? You know, you can start from high school and go all the way up to your both of you guys played professionally. So.
Well, yeah, quick snapshot. Went to Whites Creek, played under Coach Nahner, had a great career. Left there, went to Belmont, started point guard 4 years for Rick Bird. Took me to the first ever NCAA tournament. Loved my time at Belmont. Went from there and went to play overseas and in the NBA D League, which is called the G League now. But it was a great experience. Played in Bakersfield, California for Jim Herrick, who's another legendary coach. Won national championship at UCLA. And Coach Lamar Odom, Rhode Island. Yeah. Jim Herrick is a legend. And then got into coaching after that. And 15 years later, I'm right here.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Stuff for me. Born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee. Went to Brentwood Academy. Played under a legendary coach, George Pitts. Started as a freshman. Me and Brandon Wright played with Brandon Wright, who got drafted and played in the NBA. Won 4 state championships. The start of a dynasty at Brentwood Academy.
They was over there cheating.
Nah, it wasn't cheating. But look, a lot came with going to Brentwood Academy for real. So I wouldn't call it cheating. But
they ate good in the cafeteria, though.
we did. We did do that. We ate real good. Opposed to Metro, but
right.
It's a different story.
Did y'all have big chocolate chip cookies? The big chocolate chip cookies.
Man, if you don't got them things was soft.
Yeah,
soft.
Yeah.
Look, I can't complain about the food at Brentwood Academy.
Okay.
But nah, man, had a great career there. Coming out, chose Southern Illinois, going to college. They was an upcoming program. Made it to, NCAA tournaments a few years prior. And, I got an opportunity to play under Chris Lowry, who taught me a lot of great things, great coaching staff. We made it to the Sweet 16 my freshman year. I decided to transfer after my sophomore year, made it to the NIT. Decided that I wanted to play, at a higher level. Wasn't the smartest decision on my hand, but at the end of the day, I felt like I had to make that decision for personal reasons.
Yeah.
And everything I was going through and my family was going through at the time. Went to University of Tennessee. Great time there. Not the best basketball experience time, but it was fun playing in that atmosphere.
Knox Vegas right there.
Yeah, it's definitely Knox Vegas. It's party town. Had a bunch of good times.
Yeah.
Met some great people, and ended up making it to the Elite 8, highest, the best that's ever been done in school history.
Who you lose to?
We lost to Michigan State.
Yeah.
Draymond Green.
Draymond.
Yeah, so.
Guy just couldn't finish the game.
Yeah, man.
That floater.
He should just pulled up.
That was a no-look floater.
Yeah, he wouldn't
They said
expect
he
that.
called overtime.
Yeah, he did. So
They said LeBron said he was seeing 3 rims like LeBron.
Right. And he shot to the left. He shot to the left. Nah, man, but that dude, he was a monster in college, I'll tell you that. And he a monster now.
Yeah, he's still a monster.
But yeah, man, had a great career at University of Tennessee. Like I said, not the best, but ended up playing professional for a little stint overseas in Germany. Played ABA and all that stuff to get to that point. But it was a struggle. Went overseas, did what I had to do, averaged 30. Felt good about my playing career. And, I had a daughter at the time and a newborn, so just decided that, might as well just stay home.
Yeah.
Don't put them through that mess and, start my coaching career.
Word. Let's go back a little further in y'all basketball careers. Me and him played against each other little leagues.
Okay.
We were like 5.
Okay.
They had a cheating team. They used to kick our ass. They had a cheating team.
How do we cheat? It's Little League.
They always say it's cheating
They had a
when
cheating
it's just a better
How you
team.
cheating at Little League? We 7.
Y'all had everybody.
Look, I can barely
Y'all
tie
had
my
everybody.
shoes.
Anyway, so did you guys play Little League and where y'all did? I mean, if y'all did, where did y'all play? We played what?
Madison
league?
and
The Madison and Little League.
Now, I'm from Memphis, so
Yeah.
I moved to Nashville when I was 12. So when I was in Memphis, I did playing leagues around there. But when I came to Nashville, the Northwest YMCA was where all the hoopers in my area were going, and so they had their YMCA league. So they took the best players from that team from those leagues and created an AU team called the Northwest Stars.
Yeah.
And it had like all my friends that I'm kind of cool with today, but Hassan Rashid was on the team, some guys like that people may know. And that we started that little team right there. I wasn't even playing in the league, but I was in the neighborhoods killing as a 5th grader.
Yeah.
And they was like, man, you need to come try for our all-star team. I was like, I don't know none of them kids, I'm from Memphis. And I went in there and made the team, started, and that was kind of the beginning of Lil Penny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Being in the neighborhood. So, and then from there I went to middle school. So I wasn't here for the Y leagues. Everybody was notorious for them, but he can tell you about that.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm glad y'all asked that question because a lot of people don't know. They be like, "Bro, you from Brentwood." From Brentwood? Like, come on, man. What you talking about? I'm from East Nashville, Cleveland Street. Product of the Maplewood League that everybody went to from, all the big time players that come through the city. Played in that league. We had a cheating team. They say we had a cheating team because we was cold.
We 7. We can't cheat at 7.
You feel me?
I was young to even be on the team.
But even before that, at 4, I started playing basketball with my dad at 4 at the Northwest YMCA League. And I was terrible at the time, but my dad worked at the Y, so he had a little team put together. And, we had fun with it. And then just started to get better when I went to the Maplewood League, and then we went to the East League. And it was a great league, bro. Just, having fun from the city, all the people coming out. You still see these dudes like, in high school, middle school, and growing up. Mm-hmm. And you see the same people that was in these little leagues that was good. And, it was just fun, man. Just a fun time, man. Wish I could go back.
I ain't gonna lie. I really feel like I developed a lot of my competitive edge from like little league sports, like not even middle school or high school. Cause like when I was like 9, I had like grown men yelling at me.
Oh yeah,
like all the time. So like by the time I got to high school, like you yelled at me, like that stuff didn't like it wasn't like it would actually get me going. It wouldn't bother me though. But I think because the competition was so rich at that age, man, just having that culture, man, I really feel like it really helped develop that competitive edge.
Absolutely.
Boy, that JD, Kiki, all them.
One team.
Yeah, we was static. I got the trophies to show it too. We lost 1 year. It was the end of the world.
We was 10. I would have got y'all, but I was sick the day before.
Yeah, they beat us. Y'all beat us the last
Yeah,
year
we was
in the
10.
regular season.
Yes, in the regular season.
Y'all
We beat y'all. I was healthy.
Yeah, y'all didn't
playoffs. Championship. I was
Y'all
sick.
didn't-
I didn't even play the game before.
Yeah, you didn't play in the championship. You lost in the semifinals.
Who?
Y'all know we played Isaiah and them. We played Isaiah.
We lost
Upton.
them.
Yeah.
We jacked them.
It's crazy stuff they remember today.
Yeah, I hit the game winning the championship.
For real?
Yeah.
We lost to somebody that hit a backboard 3.
Yeah.
Wow. I hit a 3 all season without the backboard.
You know how they want like somebody beat you and you want them?
Oh, yeah.
Like we had already won our game, we waiting on them to play. I'm like, I want y'all to win so we can play them.
for
They
sure.
lost. We had to play somebody else.
Yep.
But yeah, man. Alright. Transitioning from playing careers though, we're gonna go into like now coaching. Before we start talking about like your present coaching career, I wanted to talk a little bit about like what made you even consider coaching. So like what was the driving force behind that? Penny, I know I just found out recently that your father was a coach, so I'm pretty sure that played a role in that decision. Could you talk about whatever made you want to get into coaching?
Yeah, so basically I been around basketball my whole life. So I was born, my pops was a coach, so he's always taking me to the gym and just kind of seeing how he impacted his players' lives and picking them up for practice and taking them home every day and just being there. that really impacted me. I didn't think I wanted to be a coach though until I got in college. You know, my plan was to play pro ball, try to play in the league, and that was my goal. Like I never even thought about coaching until probably my junior year in college when I got hurt, and it was over the summertime. I had surgery, and I was thinking to myself, if I don't hoop, what do I really want to do? And I was in school to be a school teacher. I was majoring in education, and I would, kind of want to follow my pop's footsteps. Maybe that's what I wanted to do if I didn't play, but it wasn't college. I was just thinking like, just get a degree in something that's gonna be easy for me, basically, just to come second nature. And so I learned a lot about how to be a teacher at Belmont in school, because that's what I was majoring in. But my junior year, man, that's what really hit me. And when I went overseas, I think the thing that really changed me is when I was playing in Finland, there was that was in like 2007, and it was right around the time where I think the Olympic team had gotten beat when they had Steph and Iverson and all those guys. And so I remember thinking to myself, how are these people overseas beating us? Ain't no way. But when I was overseas, our younger team, which was like 12 and under, they were practicing before us. And they were literally practicing there like they was Army sergeants. You know how you were saying you was getting yelled at as a kid? Well, them dudes were getting drilled as if they was in the Army, like taking charge drills, doing all kind of stuff, diving for loose balls, and then just fundamentally sound. And I'm thinking to myself, like, asking my coach, like, well, where you learn the game from? And they was like, they watched Mike Magic Johnson film, Larry Bird film, old Pistol Pete tapes and stuff like that. So they were learning their fundamental skills from watching the 80s, and they were taking them same drills and incorporating them to their kids at 8 and 9. And so I felt like, and they were just doing that in Finland, but I was thinking to myself, they're doing that here, they're doing the same thing in Spain and Italy and yada, yada, yada. Well, why are we not teaching our youth that in Nashville? So when I came back home, I started this camp called the Bryant Penny College Running Gun Camp. We started off with like 15 kids, but it got to like 100 some odd kids 4 or 5 years later. And all I did was take the same blueprint they were doing overseas with their youth and start teaching them those fundamental skills at an early age. And it just caught on, man. I sparked my career.
What about you, Josh?
Same thing, basically. Been around basketball my whole life. Like I said, I started playing at 4. My dad coached me. The people I cared about always coached me growing up. So I'm like, dang, like, this is something I would, definitely want to do. But I didn't think about it until I got out of college and started going through, a few trials and tribulations in my, playing career. I said, dang, this thing might end one day. What you want to do? Of course, as a kid, I always wanted to be like a lawyer or a doctor or a dentist, because my mom was into teeth and all that stuff. But coaching was always in the back of my mind because I'm like, love the game. I'm always around it, knowledgeable about it. So as I was going through my little trials in my career, one of my former college coaches hit me up. He was like, hey, Bowman, you want to coach? And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm still trying to hoop. You feel me? This was actually Coach Forbes and Coach Shea, and we'll get to that story too. That he coached with at ETSU. Coach Forbes and Coach Shea were my coaches at the University of Tennessee. So they ended up, after the University of Tennessee, they ended up going to Northwest Florida. Big time JUCO program, top in the country at the time. And they asked me, do I want to come coach? And I was like, man, coach, I'm 25 years old, 24, 25. Like, I'm still trying to hoop. I still got, some miles on these legs. So it kind of went in one ear and out the other. But it kind of stuck. I'm like, dang, like they trust me enough. They said, they feel that I'm knowledgeable enough to go out there and make an impact on these kids. And I've always been one to, motivate and, just kind of relate to, the players. You know what I'm saying? Look like them.
You ain't that much older than them.
Not that much older. So at the time, I was just too young to really make a mature decision like that. So I ended up going overseas and then got presented with another opportunity to coach from Penny. Penny was at ETSU at the time. And he was like, hey, man, if you get in now, who knows what can happen in the future? We gonna win here at ETSU, and they did. I went down on a visit like, hey man, like he recruiting me or something. Like I'm on a recruiting visit or something. But you know, this big bro, been knowing him since I was a little kid, looking up to him, and I'm like, dang, now he presented me with the opportunity to coach. How can I pass up on it? So the only reason I did pass up on it is because I just averaged 30 overseas, and I'm like, I'm finna get a bag overseas. I'm finna go back. You know, I'm finna go back. I'm finna go hoop. But it just didn't happen that way, and I definitely, you know, I don't regret a lot of things, but that's one of them that I do regret. But I feel like everything happens for a reason, so I'm not stressing. You know, we here today, and you know, trying to make some noise, and not trying, but we are making noise in college basketball. So, you know, I'm just blessed to be in that position. But you know, I coached high school basketball. That was my startup because I denied that opportunity. And, you know, just had to start at the high school level at Antioch. You know, had a great run there with those guys, gained the relationship with the players, some big-time players in the city. Ended up starting my own AAU team called Bonafide Grind, BFG Elite. And, you know, we had a great run, went to tournaments, and I'm doing everything from, you know, registering for tournaments, you know, getting hotel rooms, raising money. Like it's different driving to these cities because we ain't got the money to fly. Me and my wife and, you know, whoever was my assistant coach, it varied from people to people because they just didn't have the time that I had. But, you know, we hitting that road. You feel me? That grind is different. It's kind of like a JUCO grind. Like you really don't have. You're not a shoe team, so you don't get all the money. You don't get the flights taken care of. You know, you gotta really grind. And so we going to these tournaments, man, and I just found a love for it then. I'm like, shit, if I can do this, like I can really do this. Let me see if I can make an impact. And you know, had a conversation during that time when I was coaching at Antioch. Penny called me out of the blue one day and was like, man, I'm just thinking about you, bro. Like, I could be doing more to help you in, you know, the coaching career. And I'll never forget that conversation. He ended up calling Jerry Nichols, Coach Nichols, who's on the staff at TSU. And we all had a conversation just about the coaching grind and all of that stuff. And he was like, man, you know, when I get a head coach, Penny said, when I get a head coaching job, you know, I'm going to call Nick. He's going to be my coach. But my assistant, but you know, we want to mold you into this because it's a process in this coaching game. You know, things happen. He got a head coaching job here, and you know, we here today. He called me, and you know, I'm just blessed for the opportunity.
That's what's up. That's what's up. You see, you started coaching AAU. Well, you didn't coach Lady Zoom with Tangy and them.
Yep, that's my best. That's probably one of the biggest impacts on my career was coaching Lady Zoom.
I used to be in all the games. He was cold.
Right. You know, I think the thing that's the underrated thing about that is that like, you know, everybody talks about this time where you like had all those cheating teams, and you had a time where you don't forget that time. We had a cheating team. We had all the best girls in Metro.
Yeah,
cold.
Yeah, y'all did.
And we won a lot of games. We beat a lot of teams that were ranked and stuff like that. But for me personally, like it gave me an opportunity to be a head coach. I think I was the head coach of Columbia State right when I started doing this. But it gave me confidence. I was using Lady Zoom damn near like my guinea pig. So I'd be like, let me see if this play gonna work. Oh, wow, it's gonna work. It's gonna work with the boys too. You know what I'm saying? So I love coaching them girls, man. Like Tangela, Kim, Alexis, all them still like my daughters to this day. So shout out to Lady Zoom, which is called Team B right now.
All right, speaking a little bit about y'all age, with y'all being younger coaches, man, I really wanted y'all to talk about that, especially when it comes to things like recruiting and just coaching in general. Can you talk about how your age plays a factor in the coaching world? Like, are there any pros to it? Is there any cons to it? Do people look down on y'all? Like, oh, they young, don't know what they're talking about and stuff like that?
Hey, man, it's a blessing to be young coaches in this game because you're able to relate, you know, more to these kids. And when you have coaches that are relatable, that you can get along with, that listen to your same music, that look like you, that can get out there and play with you, it just hits different.
Right.
You know, you can talk about all the big time coaches, college coaches, when in their career, can they do what we doing right now? Probably not. Now, do they have the funding and the places that look nice? Yeah, they probably do, which does matter a little bit because kids, you talking about the shoe team generation, talking about the Nike, the EYBLs, all of those spoiled kids that's, you're getting a lot.
Yeah.
But you're getting more when you're playing, with a staff that you can really mess with, that actually know the game, that can get out there and play with you, that's actually knowledgeable about the game. You feel me? We study this.
Yeah.
This ain't just something we good at and, let's just coach one day. Nah, it's been a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, driving, time studying, losing, a lot of winning.
Yeah.
Like, this dude been the head coach or in the coaching career for over 12 years.
Going in the year 16.
Yeah,
16.
You feel me? And he's still only 37.
Right.
You feel me? I just turned 33 the other day. Like, why not? You feel me? I just feel like being young in this game right now is the move because, it just is what it is. We relate to the players better. You feel me?
And I agree with that. I mean, I am, I'm young. I'm one of the younger coaches in the country, but I'm not the youngest. And I don't feel like the young guy no more. I used to when I first got into it, for like the young coach. But now, like I said, I'm going to year 16. I'm like the young vet. I'm just because I know the verse to a couple little baby songs and stuff like that. I use that to my advantage. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no secret. And like he said, we get out there and still mix it up with them. But I think the biggest thing is that we know what their experiences were. We've been there, we've been in their shoes, we've sat in those lockers. This man that took a team to the Sweet 16, to the Elite 8. I've taken teams to the NCAA tournament as a player and a coach. There's nothing that we haven't experienced yet. So even though we're maybe on the younger end of the spectrum in terms of those guys that are out there that's doing 40 years, we've still got a house worth of experiences that we can give to our players.
For sure.
Yeah, I seen y'all had a little coaches little scrimmage going on the other day. So who won that?
So we played against our managers and a couple of former players, and we smacked them.
Smacked
Smack C.
Smacked
Looked
them.
like Bone was going for 30, man.
It don't look like it. He was.
Yeah.
So what it was we went to 50, and then Bone probably had about 30. But it was just a mauling. And honestly, though, it really ain't no other staff out there that want to see us. No way.
Man,
What a camera. What a camera. It's right there. I just want to make sure I look in this camera. I don't care if you played in the league. I don't care if you played overseas 20 years. Y'all ain't mess with our staff.
Nah.
All professional experience, you feel me? Sometimes it feel like fine wine, bro. Just get better with time.
Vino, Kobe.
Yeah, come on, man. Y'all don't want to see us, though. Not our coaching staff. And to piggyback on that, yeah, I probably had about 30, but at the end of the day, he could have had 30.
Yeah.
Coach Nick could have had 30. Coach Ben could have had 30. Asa could have had 30.
Yeah,
Come on, you feel me? Yeah, like it's just, whoever the ball going to, we can work out. Yeah, feel me? So it's fun, though, getting out there and playing and just hooping.
Said smack them.
Yeah, smack season.
But we knew that. We knew that was going to happen.
You know when you go in to something knowing that you're going to win, like, it ain't nothing nobody can do about it.
One of those.
It's always when it comes to, playing this game and who we were playing at the time.
All right, coaching
cardio.
That's just confidence.
That same coaching staff are starting 5 next year at TSU.
Oh, wait.
Smack.
If
The other way. Smack.
If we smacked them, we done a poor job. We would have no chance, dog. If they play it right.
Man, you ain't lying.
But that wisdom might kick in every now and then. But our knees still are over 30, and our bodies do hurt.
Yeah.
I don't want no issues with our team. You know what I'm saying? And if it is issues, y'all never hear about it.
Yeah. Now when they gonna be on camera.
That's funny.
looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
All right, speaking on, so you guys spoke on your coaching career a little bit, but now we back home. We both, I mean, you from Memphis, but you know, you got Nashville roots. You got Nashville roots.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys talking about, like, how does it feel, like, leading the charge for, like, one of your hometown universities? Is this something, like, that you ever dreamed of? Like, TSU is literally at the center of Nashville, and now you guys are headed the charge for the basketball program.
What?
So can you speak on that a little bit?
Well, I didn't know that Tennessee State's never hired a coach from Nashville as a head coach. So it was history made when they decided to announce me as the head coach. And then, you know, once I got into the business, I knew I wanted to be the coach of Tennessee State at some point. And I wanted to do it not just for the TSU alumni, but for the Nashville community. I want to create a ripple that can affect our community, that can create business and jobs and just have us thriving so we could be whatever kind of black enterprise or not just for the black community, but for everybody. I want Tennessee State to become, I want us to be the Kentucky of HBCUs. You know, and I think we're headed, you know, we're on that trajectory. COVID obviously took a lot away from everything we had built up, but the energy is back now. So we're just going to try to build off of it.
For me, man, it's just a special, you know, time. And like I said, I'm honored to be a part of, you know, the TSU family, being a Nashville kid, but also respect to, you know, my big brother, Penny, for bringing me in because he didn't have to. Right. You feel me? It's a lot of Nashville kids out there that want to coach at TSU, that has played at TSU, but he chose me because he seen something in me. And I feel like we the same person anyway. Y'all have to, you know, spend a day with us to find it out. But no, I'm just honored to be a Nashville kid, coaching in Nashville, and to see everything that we're building, but to really put the spotlight on Penny. Like he said this from day one, like it's my dream job. And he really believes that when he says he wants TSU to be the Kentucky of HBCUs or the mid-majors, he really believes that. And it's trickled down to me and our staff and the players that we're bringing in, they believe that. You feel me? So from seeing the groundwork that he's put in, from going on campus and, you know, telling these kids, hey man, pull up to the game tonight. We're gonna have it's gonna be a party up there. Y'all gotta show up.
So it's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit. So, and him and our staff going out there to, you know, really interact with the students and the Nashville community. Social media is big. It led to us being the number one, you know, fan attendance, accumulation of fan attendance in the country last year before COVID.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to him and, you know, everything he's doing. And that's not the only thing he's doing. He's done a lot. And then we're not going to speak on it, but, you know, he's done a lot for TSU basketball. So just to see what he's doing as a Nashville kid, I'm just honored to be a part and just trying to, you know, continue to learn from him and see what I can do to, you know, make Tennessee State better as well and just continue to grow the university and all that stuff. So, man, I'm just honored.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all got me hyped for it, man. I know you was in some TSU football games. I know I'm gonna hit them up because of the band and stuff like that. But TSU basketball, this shit, me and him been talking like, man, I'm gonna be there.
Oh, you got to. You got to. If you missing it.
Yeah, see, my pops live right there by TSU. So growing up, that's all we knew was TSU. Hear the band from the house. That's why my favorite color blue is because TSU. So now to see TSU thriving in the city the way it is, I'm just like, oh yeah. I want to be a season ticket holder.
Yeah.
Why not? Season ticket holder. Sure. And I know y'all speaking of TSU being the Kentucky of HBCUs, the way the recruitment and stuff is going right now, like, well, Mikey Williams, all them guys throwing out the idea that they possibly might go to HBCUs. I feel like a couple of years, TSU might be the Kentucky of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like with HBCUs, period.
Yeah. But you know, I make the comment of trying to be the Kentucky HBCUs, but like my confidence is like I really think that we can be on that level of not HBCUs of Kentucky. Like I wanna be able to go walk in there and compete against Kentucky, not just lose by 15 and say we competed. No, go in there and compete and have a chance to win the game and beat them in recruiting, beat Duke in recruiting, beat Tennessee in recruiting. Why can't we?
I feel like it's going that way.
Why can't we? My blueprint is what Wichita State did with Fred VanVleet, Ron Baker, and Clay Anthony Early when they went 30-something and 0, and they were the best team. Wichita State was the best team. Wichita State was the best team in the country.
Crazy.
I'm gonna say it again. Wichita State. Wichita State. Why can't we say Tennessee State? Why can't it happen? Well, it's got to be a coach with a vision, like Greg Marshall, who was the coach there. He had a vision of the program and what he wanted to do, how he wanted to do it. Their fan base became crazy. The games was packed. They were winning. They were producing NBA players. And now they became what they are today. And this man was making, I don't know, almost $4 million. He was turning down jobs to stay at Wichita. So why can't we, and I'm not saying I'm trying to make that kind of money. No, I'm not. Am I trying to be this some type of celebrity coach? No, I'm not. But why can't we create that same energy here at Tennessee State and have a chance to be recognized as one of the best college programs in the country? Okay? Rome doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
But if you pay attention or read any news or see any social media, you see that we're trying to head that way. And it's going to take everybody to do it. It's not just going to take us getting the players. It's going to take the community to come out and support. Sure. Our games got to be packed. The energy's got to be right. The communities, the people that have money to help influence the program and rise the program have to give back. The alumni got to give back. And once everybody's on the same page, amazing things can be accomplished.
Yeah, we don't want to fish sandwich at the TSU parade.
Come on, man. You ain't get that nowhere.
Straight up. All right, man. Talking about, I definitely agree. At the end of the day, why not? That's what I mean. Russell Westbrook say that all the time, and I agree with that. Why not? But so just piggybacking off that a little bit, what do you think it would take to become a powerhouse in the OVC basketball? I feel like, I was a Belmont student, stuff like that, so I went to all the games, and I feel like Belmont's program for a long time has been like between them and Murray. I feel like they've been like the powerhouses. What do you think it would take for TSU to become that powerhouse of the OVC? And like you even said, just a powerhouse in general, just being able to compete,
right?
Nationally.
Well, shout out to Belmont. Obviously, I'm an alumni there. But just like Bone said about SIU, when I was at Whites Creek, Belmont finished last place. They were last place my junior year, last place my senior year in the conference. And when I got there, my freshman year, I started as a freshman. We were regular season champs. Then the next year, we went to the NIT, first time in school history. Then my senior year, went to the NCAA tournament, the first time in school history.
Talk your stuff, man.
And I was the co-captain of the team 2 years in a row. But the culture, Belmont had already had the culture in place of getting the right kind of kids. They were getting the kind of student athlete, but they weren't winning though, because they had just turned D1 in like 97, 98, something like that. And Coach Bird maybe had like one winning season in 7, 8 years. But the administration stuck with him because they saw the culture that he was trying to build. And then in 2002, when my recruiting class came in, we helped change that to that culture that was just a fabric of culture to winning. At the Division I level. Now, when they were in NAI, they were amazing. They were going to the Final Four and NAIs and all that. But when they turned D1, they weren't. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is I was there to see how it changed. And now, what people are seeing is the finished product of the hard work that was put in. We had to crawl, on our hands and knees before they came what y'all see now. You see a full-fledged sprint now. It's running itself. But it ain't about the coach. It's not always about the coach. The coaches and the players have to align. Once the coaches and the players align, the administration had to align. Well, the administration aligned by showing Coach Bird, we're not going to give up on you since you've only had one winning season in 5 years. We're going to stick with you through all of this because we see what you're trying to build, okay? And then once everything aligns and everybody gets on the same page, then amazing things can happen, like I said at first. And so for us to be powerhouses in the OVC, all of these things have to align. And if you have, like I said, if you're paying attention, you're seeing it start to align with TSU. It doesn't equate in championships right away, though. It doesn't equate in 25 wins. It equates in, what is y'all attendance looking like? How are your young men graduating? Are you teaching them values and are they getting better? You know what I'm saying? It's a community behind you. And no, I don't care about our wins and losses. We're gonna win a lot of games. I ain't worried about that. But can't nobody not check the boxes on all those things and what we're doing at Tennessee State right now. And so I know we're headed in the right direction. The word Tennessee State's a powerhouse. When is that gonna happen? When everything aligns, that's when it's gonna happen.
I can't say nothing after that. Killed that.
Yeah. Actually, I did an interview with them. That was one of the biggest things. I asked them like that. I was in college. It wasn't for like a podcast or nothing. I asked them, I was like, how did y'all even get here? Like, how did y'all get this program? And they thought exactly what you said. Just like, they kept saying putting the right people on the bus. Like, you put the wrong people on the bus, you're not going to get to where you're trying to go. But if you got everybody on the right bus going in the same direction, you'll get that output. So I thought that was very powerful. What you said.
Sure.
All right, talking about the expectations for the program this year. Like, y'all obviously brought in so much talent. Had the talent there already. Some young guys, got like Marcus Fitzgerald. Then you had your Kenny Cooper's transferring in. You got Hersey Miller just signed with you guys. I mean, some other notable guys transferred in as well. So with all of this talent coming in, the buzz was there. Like you said, the tennis was high and stuff like that. That can build up a lot of pressure and stuff like that. So could you guys talk about the expectations coming into this next season?
Of course, it's to win. You know what I'm saying? Winning the OVC championship is the goal every year for us. But like you said, by putting the right people on the bus, and I feel like we've done that this year. I feel like we have the guys that, that believe, that are able to, execute what we're trying to do, and they're good people. You know what I'm saying? So the expectations are high, but it's also just about continuing to build the culture and what we're trying to do. If we do it now, like I said, it might not equate in 25 wins. It may not mean that. It may not mean an OVC championship right now. But our expectations is to win every year since the first year. But at the end of the day, if we continue to put these pieces together, the expectations are going to, show for itself. And we ain't going to have to do no more talking about it. We're just going to have a system in place, and the culture is going to continue to, flow. So the expectations are high every year, you feel me, no matter who we got. But I do believe we have a great group of guys that we've, gained a relationship with, that know what we expect out of them. And as long as they come in ready to work and ready to work hard and harder, everything's going to take care of itself. We're going to do our job as long as they do their job, and, the city continues to support and be behind. Expectations are through the roof.
And you talk about the roof, like everybody set this bar. He said it, like, our expectation is to win every year. Since I got the job, I expected to win the OVC my first year. That's my goal. But like, it's no pressure for me personally. A lot of people ask me that, like, how much pressure is it? All this. Well, so you're gonna knock that wall down this year. You're gonna knock that wall down. I'm thinking like, yeah, we are, but what he don't realize is I ain't even trying to knock the wall down. I'm trying to knock the whole damn house down. So I ain't even got the pressure that people think I have. I have these high expectations of what I'm trying to do. Like I told you, I'm trying to change the whole community. Like, everybody worried about just how we're gonna beat Murray, how we're gonna beat Moorhead. I'm trying to beat the whole everything so we can change Nashville. Like, so I have high expectations, and I know when we're gonna do it, just a matter of time. That's how it boiled down to for me. But I'm just excited. I'm really living a dream. Like, I really dream job, TSU. Rick Bird, even though Belmont is one of our rivals, what he did at Belmont has inspired me to what I want to do at TSU. When you think about Belmont, you think about Rick Bird. He's a legendary because his name's on the court. I would like that for my career. Right. You know what I'm saying? I want to be, when you hear about Tennessee State, I want you to say, Penny College, they did there. You know what I'm saying? Legendary. That's where I'm going with my career. Well, that's where I want to go with my career, Lord willing. Yep.
So, when you guys was coaching, have you ever had a moment it was like, oh yeah, this is why I'm coaching, like, for this moment right here? So this moment, like, this is why I want to be a coach.
I've had moments in situations where I can feel the energy of the game and the crowd and all that, but the best moments are when I get phone calls Coach, I'm getting married. I remember everything you taught me. Coach, I just had my first child. Everything you said about having kids is right. Coach, I just went through it with my old lady. I remember you told me this advice you told the whole team that day about you gotta deserve to win. You know, when things don't go your way, you gotta really show who you are. Like when I get those calls, that's when I be like, I look at the phone, like, man, this is how I got into it. So them the best moments, man. The best wins don't really show up to 15 years from now. You know, even the guys that, you know, may transfer or think you're doing them wrong in the moment, they don't really understand the impact you have on them until they become adults or they become dads or, you know what I'm saying, husbands or something like that. So that's when the real wins start happening for me.
For me, I mean, it's the same thing, basically, just relationships. Every day I walk in there, like, man, I'm living the dream. I'm not a assistant coach or, you know, head coach yet, but, you know, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I feel like I'm living in my purpose because we have conversations with guys and they may have lost a parent, or, you know, someone in their family, struggling in school, lost a girlfriend, or, you know, can't pass a class and they just need somebody to talk to. Those are your wins. You know what I'm saying? Even guys that leave the program, when you get birthday texts and happy birthday, man, appreciate you, look up to you, wish y'all continued success. Just those messages, you feel me? Like, it may seem soft, but at the end of the day, it's the relationships that you build from this job is why, you know, like, I love doing what I'm doing. It's rarely things that's on the court when you realize, okay, yeah, we hoop and, you know, it's always fun. Of course, you love to do that and coach these guys, but just being able to motivate and making, you know, a difference in these young, you know, dudes' lives is, you know, priceless.
But look, though, let me tell you something I just thought about as you was talking. What has happened at TSU that has happened nowhere else that I've ever been, or happened to me when I was in college, you probably say the same. Our players got us full access, right? For advice and things and talk to us. Man, what has happened to TSU now? And this is how I know we make an impact. Students are coming into our offices now. Coach Bone, what's up? Hey, Coach, can I talk to you for a second? Coach Penny, you good? Hey, now if I sit down and ask you a question, I'm like, this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted people to feel like the basketball program is theirs. Like Coach Penny is like, I'm almost like Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince. Like, you know, they just, and I love it. I love walking around campus. Coach Penny, what up? Hey, what's up? Coach, we coming tonight. Hey, Coach Penny, hey, we having a shoe thing where we selling shoes. Can you come and just show your face? Hey, Coach, man, we doing poetry reading. Can you come through and just, like that? Those are wins to me. That's how I know that our staff is really making an impact on the campus. And you know, we just want for it to spread, you know what I'm saying, throughout the community. When it gets there, then we really done our job.
It goes back to what you're saying, building that culture. The culture keep flowing through everybody. It's going to touch everybody in the city.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to do. Real talk.
All right, we talked a little bit about Hersey Miller. I feel like, man, this has gotten so much publicity since it first dropped. I ain't gonna lie, I was pretty surprised when I saw it. It
was on first take, man.
Everything.
E2I, TMZ. It was crazy.
I was like, man. So we wanted to ask about it. So how did the relationship with Hersey come about? You think Master P, you think it had an impact on the TSU culture just coming up?
All right, well, Hersey came about just like any other kid. You know, nothing was different about it other than he was the son of a celebrity. And to me, Master P is like Jay-Z of South. We grew up on Master P, you know what I'm saying? You know, sit here in front like I wasn't excited to talk to Master P, but I think what happened, what got his attention is that we just treated like any other recruit. You know, he's a recruit's dad, and we treated him as such. And Master P's impact so far has gotten everybody's attention on a national level because they're writing stories about it. They're interviewing him. He's mentioning TSU. He's mentioning my name on these big platforms, Breakfast Club, and all this stuff. And it's been dope. It's been great attention. And I'm not asking. Nobody's asking nothing more than just that. You know, that's the kind of impact he has. If he doesn't have any other impact on our program, I'm cool with that. You know, nobody's everybody asked like, what's he buying for y'all? What he done done for y'all? Like nothing. And nobody's expecting him to do it, nor is anybody gonna ask him. You know what I'm saying? But that's how we're going about it, man. We're excited to have him around. He's gonna bring a lot of attention. You know, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, people been in my DMs talking about, can you send him my mixtape? I am not getting no mixtape from Master P. Y'all can forget that. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I will not be handling no mixtapes to Master P. You will see him out, you can hand him a mixtape. If he's at the game, if you get close enough to him, you can hand it to him. You can do that.
Shoot.
But I'm pretty sure he might appreciate it if you call.
Right.
But I mean, he can tell you, man. I talk to him all the time, but you know, he's a good dude. He loves where we're headed, and you know, I'm really excited about his son, man.
He hooped too, though. He played in the pro.
Yeah, he think he can still hoop.
Yeah, he think he can still
So I
hoop.
sent him that video. He even started questioning himself. We talk trash with him, but he's good.
We're gonna have to get the one-on-one game.
Yeah, and Paper Daddy could hoop too.
Yeah.
Paper Daddy could hoop, man. About 20 in high school, man. It was cold. So we got a lot of dads that can hoop on us. There's dads can hoop, so you got to do a little horse game or something when everybody get in town.
All right, can you speak on Marcus Fitzgerald's freshman season? I mean, he's a Nashville kid.
Yeah.
Literally was a kid, got thrown in the fire right away, and he answered the call. I felt like right away.
I seen LaMarcus dribbling on Instagram. He was like 5 years old. That boy been dribbling.
Yeah. That's one of the positive things that came about the season. The guys got a lot of experience in a year that didn't, count. He's going to be a freshman again next year. And so
I didn't know that. Eligibility because of COVID. Yeah.
So he got on court experience. His confidence grew.
Man.
He had a monster game one night where he had 32 points and he scored about 8 points in 11 seconds. I had never seen nothing like that.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And his future is so bright, but nothing he did surprised me. I've been knowing him since he was born, and knew what kind of how capable he was. And I used to always tell him, I need that 8th grade Marcus out here, middle school Marcus. And I just give him that confidence. And sometimes it's all you need. A coach that believes in you.
It's half the battle, man. Confidence is always half the battle.
Yeah, his basketball is ahead of him. So, Coach Bone spends a lot of time with him. What you think?
I love Marcus, man. Being a Nashville kid, of course you want, him to succeed and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, man, he's a great player, and it's not really hard for us to coach him because he already knows what hard work is. Now, are there things that he can get better? Yes, of course. But what he's done thus far, we're just happy to, be able to coach him and just see how he's going to grow as a player. Like you said, his best basketball is ahead of him, and we're excited to just keep our hands on him and continue to mold him and coach him and make him be the best Marcus Fitzgerald he can be.
Facts, man. He put that in. We interviewed Jamal earlier on the podcast, man. We know every time you look up, he in the gym with him. He's surrounded by Jordan, Darius, stuff like that, those pro guards, and I'm pretty sure, that definitely plays a major role in developing. When you got that type of intellect around you, you can look up to those guys, especially they all guards too. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Facts.
Well, Coach Penny, let's take it back, man. Talk about your hooping days at White Creek.
So, I'm sitting in my seat. Now, White Creek, man.
Who was on your team in White Creek? Because it's some good teams.
My junior year, we should have won the state championship. It was me and Hassan Rashid, Derek Ramsey was the 4-man, Kyle Allen was the 3, and Robert Wood was the 5-man. And then Kyle ended up going to Kentucky State. Derek and Bob went to Ball State. And Hassan played pro baseball. And then I went to Belmont. So we all played, at the next level, basically. And we were good, man. We won. Everybody in the state we blew out. Everybody in Middle Tennessee we blew out. And I ain't talking about like 2 points. We beat everybody 30. And the only team we could not beat was Stratford. Stratford had our number. They had DeMarco Polk and
Sound about right.
went Mr. Basketball the next year. And then Jacquees Curry, who's probably one of the best high school players I ever played against. Don't get no credit. He's special. They were good, but everybody else we blew out. So we get to we get to a Christmas tournament. We played Memphis Bartlett, who was supposed to be the best team in Bartlett that year, and we beat them in Memphis. And anybody knows when you play Memphis teams, they cheat, especially when you're playing in Memphis, or they just beat you because they're just good. Excuse me. So we went like 4-0 against Memphis teams that year, but we beat Bartlett in Bartlett. So we go to the sub-state that year and have to play Gallatin. And we just played terrible. They had a 7-footer named Wesley Morgan who ended up going to Mississippi State. We just played our worst game of the year. We was averaging like maybe 70 points, 75 points a game. We lost in overtime, 44-42.
Wow, they slowed the game down or something?
Yeah, I think they slowed the game down, and we just weren't making shots, and it was packed from wall to wall, standing room only in White Street. Yeah. All of our games were like that. And that same energy is what I'm trying to create at TSU, like that wall to wall. Somebody take a shot. Like, that's the kind of energy we want back in there. But that's what I remember about my days. But that White Creek Gallatin game still haunts me because we lost by 2, and we had a shot at the buzzer, we just missed it. But Gallatin goes on to the state championship game. Who they play? Bartlett. And Bartlett beat them in the championship game.
They blew them out, or they just...
I don't even remember, dog. I don't even want to think about it. But, that was the year we should have won the state. We beat the state championship team in Memphis. I felt like we would have had a chance to beat them in the state, and we just tricked it off. But my time at White Creek was good, man. We had a lot of the same ingredients that we're doing at TSU. We had those at White Creek. You could feel it, so but that's kind of how it was.
But the BA, y'all didn't have no competition, or did y'all?
Nah, we didn't have no competition. None at all.
Innsworth wasn't even a school, was it?
Nah, Innsworth, my junior or senior year?
But they played everybody, though. They've had a national schedule.
We had a national schedule.
Yeah, exactly. National schedule.
Number 1, number 2 player in the country at the time, whatever. So we were in all the big-time tournaments. And it was kind of like him. We blew out everybody in the city, but except for White Creek. White Creek had a squad.
They had a squad that year.
Junior and senior year. They had a squad, man, and we played them.
Jamie,
Gersh,
Dominic Rouse.
Yeah, they definitely had a great squad, like a high school squad. But we still, should have beat them.
Will Peters.
Will. But, they had our number that year, my senior year, and I had the worst game of my career. But my experience at Brentwood Academy was great, man. We traveled all across the country playing the top players because of Brandon and, what we built, during my high school career. But it was kind of like a Batman and Robin thing with me and him. Like, we had posters and, of Batman and Robin, and it was just fun, man. They had like the little, the little presidential campaign things. They had Right Bone for president. Like, we had all of that. Brandon had a Lord of the Rings picture. Like when we won like 3 state championships, going on a 4, they got them like this, and man, it was just funny. We had fan base was crazy, but. Kind of like him, man, we played Memphis teams, and people always talk about Memphis teams, bro. They the best, they the best, they the best. Or Jackson, and we smacked them. We smacked them. Like, we didn't play, I don't know who was the top, was it? It wasn't Mitchell, because we played Mitchell down there when they had Thaddeus Young and Brandon Powell. They had a great
Florida.
Yeah, they went to Florida.
It wouldn't be Joe Jackson there with White Station.
No, we didn't play White Station. Now, that's what they always bring up. They play Hamilton.
Hamilton went 37-0 that year.
Yeah, they did.
They beat White Creek.
Yep. Hamilton and White Station are the teams they always say, well, y'all didn't play the top ones. I'm like, how does it get better than Mitchell? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They got a NBA player that's been in the league 15 plus. You feel me?
Deal.
Yeah. But we smacked them, and man, like I said, we traveled all around the country playing in these tournaments, winning these tournaments. I gotta bring up City of Palms, in Florida, one of the biggest tournaments in the country.
It's still to this day.
And we beat for the championship game. Well, let me give you a stint. First game we played Lance Stevenson when he was a freshman at
He was so
Lincoln.
cold.
Yeah.
Dude was
Cole. He was about 6'6" freshman, same size he is right now.
He lead the state in New York. I think he the all-time scorer, ain't he?
Man, bro, dude was an animal.
I ain't heard this story before. Y'all beat them first round?
Yeah, first round. Smacked them though, by about 20-25. Then second round we played Corey Fisher. That ended up playing at Villanova. They were ranked number 2. It was Episcopal. I think it was Episcopal Christian or something like that. And packed. Man, sideline is, you got all the big time coaches and, the stands always beat them, smack them. Championship game, we played Wayne Ellington and Gerald Henderson team. Forgot the name of their team. Oh, they were Episcopal. Corey Fisher and team was St. Patrick's.
Okay.
So, yeah, in New
That's
Jersey.
where Kyrie went.
Yeah, that team. So for the championship game, man, we played Gerald Henderson and Wayne Ellington, man, and I think they had us up by like 10 at half. Gerald Henderson dunking everything. One of the
How
most
old was he then?
6'5", but he was the craziest athlete I ever seen in my life at that time. But we had a great team too, athletes too. We had, a bunch of, D1 players on our team, but it was mainly, Coach always said, they have 2 All-Stars, we have 2 All-Stars. We got Josh and Brandon, and they got Gerald and Wayne. And Gerald and Wayne were, both top 20 in the country players.
Duke in North Carolina.
Yeah, Duke in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And so, man, we ended up winning that game, bro, and I think we beat them by like 5 or 6, and, I was a part of the all-tournament team, and listen to this all-tournament team. Brandon Wright, Wayne Ellington, Gerald Henderson, Lance Stevenson, Josh Bone. You feel me? Like, that's what people don't know. You feel me? It's like, you gotta educate people like, oh, Bone, man, I don't know. You play with Brandon Wright. Nah, I put in work.
Yeah.
And this ain't to toot my own horn, but what we did at Brentwood Academy was special, and it should be talked about. We won 4 state championships, 1 City of Palms. That's something that's never been done in the state of Tennessee before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we had a great staff, great coaching staff, but also great players, and we played well together. So basketball wise at Brentwood Academy, it don't get no better. You know what I'm saying? I had a great experience, man. So it was fun.
DG and them won 4 too.
They did. And they talk about that, but they don't really talk about ours. We started that shit. Hey, y'all did a good job, but it started from somewhere else.
Right.
You feel me? So
I think they got a little bit of boost with the social media.
oh yeah, for sure, and deservingly.
Yeah.
DG is a beast. He's a monster.
He's elite.
You feel me? So, but nah, man, it was fun.
Look, we done got back into these playing careers. I'm going to go ahead and ask this question, man. Especially both of y'all guards. It's the toughest player you done had to guard in your life.
Ooh, wee.
Just off the top of my head, right away, Darren Collison, UCLA.
Fast.
Oh my gosh. He rejected a ball screen one. You still like that.
He's shooting a layup.
And guess what? He was a backup.
Yes, he was.
Came off the bench.
Jordan Farmar was the starting.
Yeah, when Jordan Farmar was in there, I was like, man, got him.
Yeah.
Ball screen, I was blowing by him too. I had no fear of him.
Yeah.
I had no fear of Darren Collison either until he blew by me. I was like, let me bag up. Bag up, still blow by. Then I looked over down and thudded. But I was just on the, I played against a lot of great players, but Darren Collison just first name jumped out to me.
For me, I always say I gotta mention 2 because of what Eric Gordon did his freshman year in Indiana was freaking amazing. Like he was just special. Like he was fast, he could jump, he could shoot, and he wasn't skinny. Like he was, you feel me? Like he had body. So he was NBA ready his freshman year. So I always say that, and I always talk to Jordan about it. He always asks me the same question, and I never changed like Eric Gordon first, because if you stopped him on one move,
he got another one waiting.
He got another one. If you stop him on that second move, he got another one. Like, he didn't stop pulling out tricks out of his bag. Like, he's like, all right, I got all of this. So you just gonna have to keep on trying to stop it. But you couldn't at the time. And so, yeah, he was probably number one. And then number two was Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker is another blur. Like, just
super fast.
Pyram, just fast, quick, knows the game. Just shifty, man. It's just hard to guard. Guards that's always been I hate guarding quick guards. And I was known as a defender at UT, but
it's different than quick guard.
You feel me? Like, it's just, man, quick guards, you just can't stay in front.
It's only so much defense you play.
Yeah. Like Jordan, I knew Jordan was gonna be elite when I used to guard him his senior year in high school. I used to beat him down. But when his senior year in high school, and he's always been the fastest and quickest out of everybody. He's just an elite athlete. But his senior year in high school, I was like, oh, snap. Like, this dude got that elite speed and quickness. Mm-hmm. When I started not being able to just always stay in front of him, and I'm like, yeah, this little dude fast as hell. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like that. Just guarding Kemba Walker. You just can't stay in front of him. You know what I'm saying? You just got to play defense as a team. You know what I'm saying? Ice every screen.
I played against AAU. I played against Tyler Eulis.
Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah.
He was here, went between his legs, he was gone. Mm-hmm. But he probably wasn't even the hardest. It was a local guy, RP, man, Michael Battle, Mike B. Played for Pearl. That dude was so fast. He like this
light skinned dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So fast, he changed direction. He had a half spin. Mm-hmm. Gone. I touched the floor about 3 times. Playing against him, man. It's something about them big guards, man. It's tough to guard them guys.
For sure.
All right, we're going to take it back to TSU just a little bit. We talked about the basketball culture, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the football side of this too, especially with the recent signing of Eddie George. Do you think TSU sports culture, I feel like it's already been going up, but do you think it'll reach new heights this year with the football program and the basketball program both going up right now?
Yeah, well, we got a new AD, Dr. Allen, who is a real innovative, creative thinker, and some of the things he's got going on. I don't know if y'all saw the news about the hockey stuff and just all the things all the new innovative ideas that TSU's trying to touch and create.
Baseball program.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that's been communicated about as well. But I think in time it's just going to continue to keep building. But the hiring of Eddie George has sparked it as well. Obviously. We grew up watching Eddie George, being from Nashville. Man. But I thought I was shocked when I asked one of my players if they knew who he was, and they didn't. But I was thinking to myself that he was born in 2000, so it's easy how you wouldn't know who he is, but your daddy do though. You know what I'm saying? So when he's going into households, even if the son doesn't know who Eddie George's career, watched him play, probably his father or his high school coach or his uncle, somebody knows, or mom.
My mama never did.
Yeah, who know who he was. I mean, nationwide, he got to be able to walk into some households and grab the attention of a lot of recruits. So I'm really excited to work with him, excited about the program, and I definitely think it's going to, continue to add to the culture that we're building here.
Heritage Clash is going to be crazy with Dion versus Eddie.
Yeah. And I'm hoping right now, I'm tight because they got it on like a capacity, I believe. So anybody out there want to get your tickets, you need to get them now. But hopefully by the time September rolls around, more people will be vaccinated and COVID will be a little bit more in control. We can have more crowd there. But that's going to be a big game.
For sure. Eddie versus Dion, sell it out. TSU band versus JSU band.
Come on, man.
That's why I love the HBCU scene.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing like it.
This COVID stuff too, man. It really hit everything. As sports guys, I'm not a big person. I don't go out and do a bunch of crazy stuff all the time. But if you can find me, you can find me at a sporting event, man. Yeah. And just not being able to have that luxury. I'm talking from middle school to high school up, man. If it's a good game or something good going on, I'm there. But because of COVID, you know, we just ain't had that. So I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, we was at, I don't know if y'all been keeping up like the WACG with Jalen and all of them.
Yeah.
When they was playing B-Mays like 2 weeks ago, it was
wall,
literally
wall.
like standing room only now. I was like, man, I ain't had that in like 2 years. And that feeling, it's just different, man, when you get in it. Even if you're not playing in the game. But that goes back to your point. Even if I'm not I feel like I love basketball. I'm pretty knowledgeable of it, but if I go to a TSU game, I'm not the coach. All this out of my hands. But I feel a part of this, like this moment, you know, it's special and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to, you know, having that so close to home, you know. That plays a big role too for, I mean, just the kids around here and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm a school teacher. So, I mean, I feel like that gives a lot of the youth hope, you know. They get to see black men that look like them, you know, and have the same culture as them, and they get to, you know, look up to them and stuff like that. So much respect to y'all, you know, for staying true, staying close to home, you know.
Appreciate that, man.
Sir.
And me and him both aspire to be head coaches one day. What would you tell guys that want to get into coach? Like, what's the most important thing of becoming a coach?
You gotta be patient, first of all. You know, if you're in it for the money, you're not gonna last, because in the beginning of your career, you may not make anything.
Right.
If I was trying to get into the business, I would, you know, like we talked about coaching Ladies Zoom, I would coach any level and try to be a head coach on that level. It was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds, and really just impact them. And don't worry about trying to get the next job. Just be great at the job that you got right now. You know, in the midst of doing what you're doing, you got to network though. You know, Final Four, drive up to the Final Four and meet coaches, go to events, go to coaching clinics, work camps. You know, do as much as you can to meet people, because you can be more than qualified for a job if you don't know nobody. You're not gonna get on. It's a lot about who you know. It's not about what you know. But get the experience while you can, because you know you're never too old to do it. But you know, at the same time, you want to try to get in as early as possible, because there is a process that happens. You know, before you become, you know, assistant coach or even a junior college coach or any level of colleges. And it's not that many jobs out there. You talk about the NBA, it's 500 something NBA players? It's only 300 and something Division I head coaches. It's less of us in Division I. So it's very hard to get. And I'm not naive or with the job that I have or the impact that I can have. But I would tell anybody that, you know, the advice I just gave you, just take that step one at a time. And then as you go through it, get you somebody that you can lean on to help you with it. You know, get you a mentor, somebody you can call, ask for their advice, you know, and build that relationship with them authentically, and then see where your career takes you.
Yeah, that's been one of my, that's why I asked you guys that question earlier about your age, because I mean, I've been coaching AAU since I was like 19, 20 years old. I'm like 24 now. And I've stuck with a group. They were in 3rd grade, now they're in 7th. And I mean, I feel like I love it a lot. I never got paid for it, nothing like that. But that's something that I always, like, that was kind of like, I wouldn't say a fear, but something like in that back end, it's like, man, like, I feel like all these established coaches, they like 60, you know, like they job security, they could go 0-30, they ain't losing their job or nothing like that. So it's always been that thing. That's why I asked y'all about, you know, how is it being young and stuff like that, trying to get into the game and stuff like that. So I definitely appreciate that advice, though. Speaking a little bit more about the basketball program, we seen Robert Covington gave a big donation back to the program. Could you speak on the donation he gave and the impact that made?
Yeah, I mean, Rob's one of those people that he gives from the heart, and he just doesn't just give and go about his business. He spends a lot of time with our players. He's in the locker room, he's hanging out, he's in the training room, he's getting ice, he's getting shots up after practice. If we practice, he'll come in. If we're practicing after he works out, he'll stay and watch the workout and grab guys and pull them to the side after practice and just, you know, chop it up with them. So when he gave his big contribution to the new practice facility, that was just him genuinely wanting our guys to have something that he didn't have when he was in school. So, I mean, I'm so happy that he's willing to open up his bank account, his wallet for the program. I appreciate that. But I appreciate it just as much the time that he spends with us as well.
I mean, just to speak a little bit on it, that's how the, culture here and our program is going to change. With guys like Rob, what he's doing is just, stupid, impactful for what we're trying to do, because we mentioned Kentucky. They have that. They have these former players giving so much and so much. We need that from Rob to get to where we're trying to get to. And for him to, trust us with, what we're building, and like you said, opening up his bank account is tremendous. But it's not only for the program, it's for these kids too, the guys that we have in our program, because they look up to Rob.
Right.
They know who Rob Covington is. You look on TV, see him last night playing in the playoff game. They know who he is, and it may be easy to say Joe Smith gave money to the program. They like, okay, cool, whatever. But if Rob give back, they like, damn, we see Rob all the time.
He repping TSU like an all-star.
You feel me? Like, they know who that is, and that only makes them go harder, because now they're like, he's one of us. He was one of us. Now, let's get to where he at. That makes them work harder in practice. Just seeing him there, that just gives them hope for the future, man. So what he's doing is tremendous, and me and Penny been knowing Rob for a long time, playing against him, and man, he's just a great person, and what he's doing is special.
Yeah, he always giving back to the community, man. I know he one of the main people. He always played in the national program and stuff like that, man.
Shout out to Brandon Williams too. That's his financial advisor. Same with he's Jordan's financial advisor as well, and we kind of all link through Rob and everything that's going on. So shout out to Brandon Williams too, big time player.
And you said something too that made me think about it. Like Kentucky's, we got Rob. Kentucky got 100 Robs.
Yep.
And we got that's one of the things that we have to do too. Is I'm not trying to necessarily create 100 millionaires, but we got to have guys that have such a great time while they experience at TSU that when they get out, when they become doctors, lawyers, teachers, professional athletes,
They come back.
Yes, they coming back and they saying, you know what, I remember what Rob did, or I remember my experience there, so we won this, so then I'm gonna make sure I give so we can continue keeping it rolling.
Exactly.
Yeah. Resources and access, man. So that's a major thing. I don't care if it's sports, education, whatever you do. If you don't got the resources, you don't got the access. Not to say it can't be done, because we are some living testaments that you can do whatever. But it would be nice if they got the resources.
You can lightning can strike, but how you continue it, to sustain it is the key. You know what I'm saying? We can have one good season, but how do we turn it into the culture that we're trying to create? It has to have some sustainability behind it.
We done started talking about the NBA just a little bit, man. Can we get y'all NBA take? Playoffs just started yesterday. Can we get y'all take, man? Who y'all rolling with from the?
Who y'all got winning it all?
He know what I'm gonna say, but I'm biased. I'm a Laker fan to the death. I'm a Kobe fan to the death. I'm a LeBron fan to the death. I love MJ too. MJ to the death, but I was just raised a Lakers fan. From Nick Van Exel and Eddie Jones and all of those guys. So
you got Lakers.
I got Lakers, but I'm not stupid.
What they running to Brooklyn?
That's what I'm saying. What I seen out of Brooklyn last night on a bad shooting night.
16 points in the first quarter and still won by double digits.
You get what I'm saying? That's scary.
Yeah,
that's scary.
I think they combined for 82 points.
Yeah, it's
a bad shooting.
But can that one-on-one type game sustain against the number one defensive team in the league, in the Lakers? You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
Yes.
And I'm not.
You saying yes? Hey, man, I'm not arguing with that.
You know who my team is, so
yeah.
Who you got?
Lakers. Y'all thought I was going some other way. Yeah. I'm Lakers too. I'm Lakers too, but I do think it's gonna get ugly.
Yeah, man.
It could get ugly.
It could get ugly.
That Brooklyn team, man. And the thing is, and I'm not saying that, because they're obviously these guys are all in their prime. They have so much experience. But it kind of reminds me of that OKC team when they were really young, between Russ, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. And when Miami and when they were playing the game, it really came down to a bunch of isolation ball, and they just weren't going to beat Miami that way because Miami was the better defensive team. But it kind of reminds me of that now. The only difference is now these guys are bona fide scorers. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm a big Lakers fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big.
I'm concerned about Phoenix, to be honest with you.
You concerned about Phoenix?
It's not going to they're not going to walk through the Phoenix.
No, they definitely not going to walk through them, but.
I don't see the matchup though. That's what I'm saying. I don't see them.
Like who can guard Bron?
I am not concerned about Phoenix. I'm really not. Are they a great team?
Yes,
but
they
concerned.
they messed. It's just so unlucky that they had to match up with the Lakers in the first round. Because if you put that Phoenix team against some of those like your Denvers and your Portlands and stuff like that, then like you can still see that greats. But now like you're playing a 7 seed. Who arguably is the best team in the best team.
Hey, Portland, no, they got Big Nurkic healthy.
But it's the same thing.
It's the same thing to me when I'm talking about defense. Does anybody on the Suns scare me? No. Yes, Devin Booker scares me shooting wise, but is he Steph Curry? No.
Chris Paul, he gonna control the game. He's just that.
Is he gonna get buckets? Yes, he's a Hall of Fame point guard. He's gonna get buckets. Cool.
But I was telling him before you walked in, I was just talking to them like this year he's kind of taking that back seat. Like I'm gonna get 13 tonight. I'm gonna get 4. But I don't think this ain't a series where 13 points gonna cut it.
Yeah. I think he's gonna go off.
He has to.
Who?
Chris Paul.
If he wants them to have
first of all, he playing against LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna bring out an extra energy in him. And then you see what he did last year in the playoffs. Come on, man.
He had to do it.
I'm gonna tell y'all X Factor. I think Wesley Matthews. I think
he really won them that game the other night.
He did, but I think I think Chris Paul eventually will have shoulder rattle, and they're not gonna be able to put like Kuzma on him or Taylor Horton Tucker he gonna little boy them.
Yeah,
but. He can't little boy Wesley Matthews.
He can't.
Wesley Matthews gonna bang back with him. He gonna get through the ball screen. He gonna foul him.
Yep.
And I think that will frustrate.
And he spreads the floor like Vogel. I mean, I'm not an NBA coach, but Vogel really upsets me sometimes. Some of these lineups he runs. Like the other night, he had Caruso, Schroeder, Braun, Drummond, AD. Like who the best shooter on the floor?
Right, no doubt.
Like there is no spacing whatsoever.
But with that crew. You think about defense.
Defensively, they gonna lock up.
Yeah, Caruso plays so hard.
Plays hard.
He changed the game too, though.
He does. He did.
When they want to turn it on defense, they can, and that's why they had that third quarter that they had the other day. I'm talking to Jordan at halftime. He's like, "Man, oh no!" I'm like, "Nah, bro. They just they got to settle down and play defense."
I just hope LeBron ain't hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
He don't look explosive.
Nah, he don't. He don't.
He hurt. Like he look like he can run a little bit, but as far as getting off the ground, he can't do
I don't know, man.
He did get up on that block.
On that block when
did get up.
Was it Poole tried to dunk on him?
Yeah.
Man, Brian head was still right here. I said,
God. Yeah, it's like he can do it once or twice a game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just hope that's not something because I heard Stephen A. put it out like he did it on one leg. He did it on one leg. I'm like, here we go with this.
Right.
Start this narrative. He hurt.
Yeah. But I just feel like it's when you talk about Brooklyn. Brooklyn is the only team that scares me because they do have enough offense.
They got that firepower.
Yeah, it's just too much offense. These other guys, Portland Trailblazers, they got offense.
I was about to say, that was the next team I was thinking about.
I'm
They
scared.
Y'all sleeping on Portland, man.
Nah, I'm not. I don't never sleep on Dame. Dame is my favorite.
Or Melo.
Yeah, or Melo.
Melo got booed and hit 3 threes last
Come on, man. 4.
I'm a closet Melo fan. I love dude game, bro.
Yeah, me too, man. I love Melo.
You said they too small, Portland.
They might be.
They're too small. Dame's my second favorite player, though.
Yeah, I love Dame.
I've always been a big LeBron guy.
They're too small if AD decide to play. AD sometimes be playing too small.
Thank you. He want to shoot fadeaway jump shots all the time.
Falling.
He gonna fall.
I literally, no joke, last year in the finals, I took a fall count for him for one game. He fell 12 times in one game. And sometimes literally how did you fall? There was no contact, no nothing.
The frustrating part is he'll bag people down sometimes, and then boom, or just I'm like, do it every time.
Right, every time. You only do it when you get punched in the mouth.
Yeah,
he can do it all the time.
He get mad, he do it. He did it against Golden State. I was like,
he did.
All right, now he wanted to get going.
Exactly.
The whole first half, he was chilling. He had Draymond thinking he was Dennis Rodman.
Facts.
And that's the thing. AD though, man.
He do, but he had no business.
He had no business
Pushing AD out like that. Come on, AD.
But he is.
He getting low on AD.
He getting AD head too. He one of them. Like pinching them probably. You never know.
Flamingo.
But what happened all of a sudden second half?
I know, man. You just gotta. He does. He pisses me out too because he's so great. But
I'm gonna tell y'all another player that make me mad. Jason Tatum.
I don't know, man.
He do
cold.
He cold, but he could be colder.
Yeah,
like you don't get 50 and then get 22.
Yeah.
Kobe was. I mean that he would have got 37.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
That boy kill up somebody on the move. He gonna go to another move.
Yeah.
Like Jason,
just
score on them.
Yeah.
What you doing?
I think it's going. I think he's still a baby though. Like,
Yeah, he is.
I ain't number what 21.
Yeah, you figure it.
That boy do 15 pivots. Like, come on, Jason. Just get to the bucket.
The last thing I'm gonna talk about though, Rico, about the NBA, Luka.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! First of all, he got the least help in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, he
I'm
does.
gonna put that out there.
Porzingis wasn't nowhere to be found yesterday.
Even when Porzingis is found,
Yeah.
dude ain't got no help.
He
You know who we remind
They
you
let
of?
go Seth Curry, so
Mm-hmm.
he was big from last year, but he ain't got nobody now.
Hey man, I always compare young Luka to the king.
I've been saying that.
Lebanon James.
Man,
Okay.
remember we was working at backfield and that draft class came
Yeah,
up.
he was on.
And I was like,
don't look.
we was talking about the draft. He was like, who was
guy?
that? I was like, Sam, I was like, bro, I watched dude game. Like,
You compare him to LeBron?
no, I was just saying his game in general. I ain't give him
He
that
was on the
yet because he
game.
ain't played in the league. But I was saying, look at his IQ. I said, look at his athleticism. There's nothing really there. He's just tall. He understands separation, stuff like that. He always just making smart plays, man. He literally picked the Clippers apart yesterday.
He did.
Doing the same stuff.
He
Like, he went pick and roll at first, and then, like, they made some adjustment. He was like, well, I'm an ISO, and I'm still going to kill y'all.
He
Like,
cold. He's
he
special.
cold.
He's special.
They supposed to have them dogs over there in Clip Town.
That's what I'm
Supposed to have
saying.
them dogs.
Might
They
be
both
some
got the
pups.
cornrows to the back.
There might be some pups.
I don't know what's going
Special.
on,
Luka
man.
special.
Luka is a man out there, boy.
Well, we got to get y'all final NBA take before we wrap it up. Who's the GOAT?
Greatest of all time.
The greatest of all
I
time.
feel like
Now we're gonna break it up into we're gonna break it up into the greatest of all time and the best player of all time.
All right. I mean, to me, the real answer is that it's hard to say it because it's different eras.
Yeah.
I think there's this thing of it's ghosts of each era.
I agree with that.
So I really do feel that way. But if you just had to put a gun in my head and take a pick, his name's Air.
His name is Air.
Air special. Air.
Air is special, man.
That boy named Air. You breathe it every day. You can't get away from it.
He ain't lying.
Air. So Air is the greatest of all time, and in the best of all time, his name is Michael Jordan.
Oh my God. This guy.
Y'all can debate that.
Hey man, you get me on a different day of the week, I'm gonna change. It goes from MJ to LeBron daily, but since you put it in two different categories, I say MJ the GOAT right now because LeBron is not done, but LeBron is the best player of all time. Now, we talk about scoring, rebounds, assists. He's the best player. IQ. Best player of all time. Now, that GOAT title is MJ right now because he did so much to change the game. He, never been beat in the finals. I mean, that's the argument. But I can argue for LeBron. I argue for LeBron more than I say that Jordan
Yes, he
is
do. He
the
be
GOAT.
passionately arguing about LeBron in my office.
Oh, yeah. But let's put this out here. Kobe is my favorite player of all time.
Okay.
All time. He's the reason I picked up a basketball, but he was my biggest influence on my career.
Facts.
And I got him tatted on me. I better love Kobe.
Yeah.
Right.
You feel me?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not that far behind with the Kobe thing either. Like,
I don't understand why he don't get like the career. I mean, he gets the career recognition, but I seen like they did
Yeah,
like
they be
one of them
ranking him
rankings.
low.
Like he wasn't even
It's
like
just because
like he
the
played
back end of his
Shaq.
career. That's the only reason why.
Yeah.
But he also played with Shaq.
Yeah.
But
But he
everybody played with somebody.
Everybody
He
great.
averaged 30 though.
Everybody won with somebody great.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
The only thing I would say with the Shaq argument though is like, I think Shaq is regarded as like the most dominant player of all time. And you got the most dominant player of all time, then like that makes it.
But
He also held his own in that. Though.
But
He
you
was
have to
getting
get-
30. But he was getting 30.
But you got people not even mentioning Shaq when they top 5, top 10 teams and stuff.
Yeah.
So how's that? You know what I mean? Like,
Definitely in my top
Jeannie
10.
Buss didn't even put him on the top 5 Lakers of all time.
But she probably can't. You know who's all been a Laker? Who was LeBron on that list?
Yep.
Damn, he was.
Yeah, and that's why Shaq was
on
mad.
it before LeBron.
Yeah,
That's why Shaq was mad.
Yeah.
Well, no, Shaq was not mad. Shaq was not mad, but we know he was mad.
Yeah, he was mad.
Camera off.
Yeah.
But she put him on there.
But Lakers had, the legends.
Will.
So it's hard to, if you put Shaq in, you
Jerry.
gotta take LeBron out. You feel me? And then you like, damn, LeBron, man. You know how you not put LeBron in the top 5 of all time? He one of the top players of all time. How did he not hit
Just
the...
Laker though.
Yeah, that's what I'm
He got
saying.
one title.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Shaq got a 3-peat.
Y'all see KD put out his starting 5. He had Akeem Olajuwon as his starting 5 man, not Shaq.
I mean,
I'm just saying, like, everybody don't always say Shaq's the best center,
Yeah.
most dominant. I think he is, like,
I
in my
say
era.
most dominant. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say best.
yeah.
And that's the only reason, but that goes back into like the work ethic and not to say he's lazy, but like
Shaq called him. He said he was lazy.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like we know we've seen what you can do in like spurts and in games and stuff like that, but you didn't embody that all the time. And if you wouldn't embody that all the time,
Yeah.
then that
So why can't Kareem be considered the most dominant of all time?
Hey, that's a great question.
Because he's the all-time leading scorer and he had an unstoppable shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I believe that
don't
he
get
had
no credit either.
He don't.
Or
And I always argue about Karl Malone. I always do. He's number 2. But Kareem could guard Shaq. Kareem, they listed him at 7'3", but he probably was about 7'5".
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was tall. Like, he could defend, and he was tough. He played a long time.
Yeah.
Lakers got all of the greatest players, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Ain't nobody beating their all-time
Nah.
team.
Not even close.
The Bulls might.
Nah, not even close.
Prime D Rose.
Prime D Rose.
That's-
Prime D Rose.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
And then 4 and 5 is over with.
you might
That's why I'm
I'm talking about Magic.
yeah, you might
Kobe,
the Celtics or
Bron,
something, bro.
The Celtics.
Will,
Yeah.
you gonna bring
Kareem.
80 off the bench.
AD 7 man off the bench. Shaq 6 man. Like, what you talking about?
Gasol 11 man.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
so with who part? Yeah, I don't
The
know what the
Celtics.
franchise.
Yeah, get to the bench is really a wrap.
Yeah.
Had to be the Celtics, bro.
The Celtics.
The Celtics.
Yeah, that's the only. I feel like that's the only other franchise I can think y'all Larry
Bird. Yeah.
Who they point guard?
Yeah, who is that point guard?
Rondo.
Come on, it's over with, man.
Yeah, it's over with. It's over with.
Who
Magic
they-
Johnson,
Yeah, Magic or Rondo? Who you taking?
Magic.
Jordan or Kobe
Yeah.
or Jason Tatum.
Right.
Jason Tatum.
Who they 2 man?
Miami, he got him though.
They got Larry Bird though.
Paul Pierce, Ray Allen? Ray Allen 2 man?
Still taking MJ and Kobe over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miami will get him. Brian LeBron.
And the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
D Wade for sure.
D-Wade for sure.
You gonna
Go
have
shit.
another LeBron?
Nah.
Who are 3?
we got Shaq.
Okay.
Shaq the 5.
So you got 3 good players.
Damn. Can I
We got
put
no
Chris?
Lonzo Moore in there.
Chris
Yeah,
Bosh.
Lonzo coming out.
Yeah,
No, Chris
Lonzo.
Bosh at the 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chris
Chris
Bosh at the
Bosh.
4. We need one more. Who we got?
Eddie Jones.
Nah.
Mashburn.
Hold on, we
Jimmy
got
Butler.
somebody.
Mike Miller.
Jamal
was shooting
Mashburn was a
threes.
killer.
Space the floor.
Hold on.
Eddie Jones.
I don't know.
Who we
was
missing?
over there.
I'm doing, Jimmy Butler. Shit, he a
Or
dog.
Ray Allen.
Jimmy B.
Yeah.
Come on now. They can compete.
Yeah, but you got a sub.
We
Yeah.
got some fatigue out. It's 2K. We got the fatigue out.
I
Yeah.
like that one.
2K. Yeah, that's a squad though. They
That is a
compete.
squad.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm
squad.
sure you can throw some little bench players in there. You know what I'm
Tim
saying?
Hardaway, backup point guard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's tough.
Got Alonzo off the bench.
That'd be fun to do, like creative teams, put it on 2K, let the computers play. See who-
Yeah.
Nah, they already do that.
Do that?
Yeah.
Just look it up on YouTube.
Oh man, I gotta check that out.
Man,
Yeah, me
Who won on YouTube?
man, he done did so many I think who did? I don't know who he did. I know he did one with 5 Westbrooks on one team.
What about Houston?
They literally had 5 Westbrooks on one team.
What about Houston though, for real?
Okay.
As a franchise,
Okay.
you got James Harden, you got T Mac, you got I put Yao in there, I put Hakeem in there.
Yeah.
Clyde Drexler.
Clyde too, yeah.
That's it. That's
Wow.
fine right there.
That's a squad.
Yeah, that's
And they had Charles Barkley and Pippen.
Sure.
They weren't in their prime,
Yeah,
but they had them.
Yeah.
Nah, everybody in their prime though.
Chris Paul.
Oh, Chris Paul. Chris Paul is starting point guard. So everybody in their prime regardless.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Washington Wizards
Russ.
team, Michael Jordan played with them.
Russ too.
Damn, Russ too.
There's some people that came through Houston.
They better than Boston.
They are. Everybody in their prime.
They better than Boston.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid.
Oh, well, if that's the case, you can pick
they
any
got,
team. Put any team Shaq played for then.
Ralph Sampson
Right.
too. Big
Ooh.
Ralph
He
Sampson.
played for. You put him on the Celtics then.
So,
Shaq played for like
man,
20
nah, bro,
teams.
you can't say
Yeah.
prime is prime when Shaq was at the
Cause
Celtics.
look, you can put a Phoenix team together
And put Shaq on.
Penny and Shaq.
Yep.
And Chris Paul and everybody else. Yeah, that's cool though.
Penny don't get enough credit either.
Yeah, he was cold.
Well, the players give him credit, but nobody else do for real. Dude was cold. He got one of the best moves I ever seen. I think he went behind the back, did like a half hop step and jump back and shot.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, Penny was cold.
Larry, man, we appreciate y'all coming out, man, sharing this time with us, sharing some of this insight, man. I definitely had a great time today. Meeting you guys, hearing y'all talk about TSU. Like I said, I know I'm looking forward to, Tay looking forward to.
Looking forward to it.
Throughout the year, man, I'll make sure I'm going to be promoted on my page, podcast page, man. Definitely want to get that culture rich and looking forward to what y'all bring to the city. Like I said, much respect to y'all for the time y'all putting in and stuff like that. But we definitely appreciate y'all for coming out.
Appreciate y'all having us, man.
Thanks for having us.
Yes,
man.
No
sir.
problem, man. Anytime.
Great podcast.
Yeah, let's be real. Yeah, let's be real. Yeah, I am not worried about what you've been talking and how you